What is it about gangsters that keeps us hooked, no matter the time period? If you asked anyone to name a famous mobster, dead or alive, Scarface Capone would almost certainly be the first name that comes to mind. Forever linked to the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, Capone's legacy also includes a host of other illegal enterprises, from bootlegging to running speakeasies and brothels during Prohibition. This was the era when alcohol was illegal, and Capone turned that into a gold mine, proving that where there's a swill, there's a way. His life has inspired more films than any other mobster, cementing his place as Hollywood's favorite bad guy. Yet, the image of Capone in popular culture, a charming rogue with a dangerous edge, is far from the ruthless reality. In truth, Capone was no lovable anti-hero but a cold-blooded crime boss, wielding power with the subtlety of a brick through a speakeasy window. Alphonse Capone was born on January 17, 1899, in Brooklyn, New York, to Gabriel and Teresa Capone, Italian immigrants from Naples. The Capone family, like many immigrants, traded the sunny shores of Naples for the gritty streets of Brooklyn, a densely packed Italian-American neighborhood filled with street markets, pawn shops, and tenement buildings. Young Al did well in school, maintaining a B average through the 6th grade and possibly dreaming of a more conventional future. But at 14, he was expelled after striking a teacher, clearly missing the lesson on keeping your hands to yourself. Around this time, he fell under the influence of Johnny Torrio, a seasoned Neapolitan gangster with connections to the notorious 5 Points Gang. Capone quickly moved up from errand boy to mentee, learning the underworld's ropes under Torrio's guidance. By 18, Capone worked for another gangster, Frankie Yale, at a bar called the Harvard Inn, where he got the infamous facial scars that would earn him the nickname Scarface. Capone's life took a new turn when he met and married May Coughlin in 1918, shortly after the birth of their son, Albert Francis. Though Capone attempted a brief stint as a bookkeeper to support his family, he was soon drawn back to the allure of the underworld. When Torrio moved to Chicago to help his uncle, Big Jim Colosimo, manage several lucrative businesses, Capone followed, leaving behind any notions of legitimate work. In Chicago, Capone initially held roles as a bouncer, chauffeur, and bodyguard for Torrio. But things changed dramatically on January 17, 1920, with the introduction of the Volstead Act. This new law, which enforced the prohibition of alcohol, proved disastrous for some. But to the likes of Torrio and Capone, it was the business opportunity of a lifetime. Shortly after the Prohibition Act became law, Big Jim Colosimo was assassinated, allegedly on Torrio's orders. Torrio then took over his uncle's empire, focusing on the now booming bootlegging business and bringing Capone closer to the heart of Chicago's criminal world. By the time he took control of the Four Deuces Club, Capone was making substantial profits, gaining a share in Torrio's various ventures, including brothels and bootlegging. With his newfound wealth, Capone established a large household in Chicago, which soon became a family fortress. After an attempt on Torrio's life, Capone took over full control of the organization and quickly made his mark on Chicago. As tensions with the North Side Gang, led by Dean O'Banion, escalated, Capone navigated a world where betrayal was constant and alliances were fragile. By the mid-1920s, O'Banion's deception led to Torrio's arrest, an act of betrayal that ultimately resulted in O'Banion's murder in 1924, a crime that, though officially unsolved, is widely attributed to Torrio and Capone. But with gang rivalries intensifying, Capone became both the most powerful man in Chicago and a prime target. His ties to corrupt politicians and law enforcement officials gave him leverage, but not immunity. When his influence led to the re-election of a friendly mayor in Cicero, Capone found himself embroiled in a violent campaign to ensure the outcome, a campaign that tragically resulted in his brother Frank's death at the hands of the police. Unfazed by loss and emboldened by his new position, Capone ruthlessly expanded his operations. He confronted anyone who challenged his power, even shooting Joe Howard in public when Howard insulted his friend Jake Guzik. Although Capone was arrested, witness testimonies evaporated or conveniently forgot key details, allowing him to walk free. A classic example of Capone's intimidation and corruption tactics at work. As Capone's empire grew, so did the violence. Ongoing feuds with the North Side Gang led to multiple assassination attempts, including one that wounded Torrio and led to his eventual retirement. But Capone, now at the height of his power, relished his role as the king of Chicago's underworld. His empire of speakeasies, brothels, and gambling dens brought in millions. However, Capone's boldness and confidence often led to reckless decisions, exemplified by his public murder of McSwiggan, a tough prosecutor. Though Capone maintained he was friends with McSwiggan, rumors circulated that Capone had ordered his death to eliminate a potential threat to his operations. Through cunning ruthlessness and a network of powerful allies, Capone stayed one step ahead of the law, despite his reputation for brutal enforcement and bribery. He solidified his place as a crime overlord, turning Chicago into his empire and sparking a near-endless chain of violence. Yet for Capone, it was all about control and power. Ultimately, Capone's rise and dominance in Chicago's criminal underworld serve as a reminder that in his world, survival often meant embracing brutality over morality. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time,